Have you noticed how different dating feels today? Women aren't just sitting back anymore. They're not always waiting for men to make the first move. In fact, they're doing things now that would have shocked their grandmothers because men won't approach them. But here's the twist. It's not that women don't want to be pursued. They still crave the chase. They still crave the man who leads. But when men hesitate, when men stay silent, women adapt, and what they're doing in response might surprise you. Today I'm going to reveal the hidden shifts in female psychology, the subtle and not so subtle things women are now doing because men won't step up. Once you see these patterns, you'll never misread a woman's behavior again. 1. Women are becoming the hunters. For centuries, men carried the burden of making the first move. The approach, the chase, the initiation. All of it was seen as his role. But something strange is happening today as more men pull back from approaching out of fear of rejection. Social pressure, or simply exhaustion. Women are stepping into the hunter's role. You see it everywhere if you pay attention. She lingers longer in your space. She accidentally bumps into you more than once. She drops hints, laughs at jokes that weren't funny, or gives you prolonged eye contact across the room. This isn't random behavior, it's pursuit disguised as coincidence. Why are women doing this? Because men have become hesitant. In today's world, rejection stings harder. Social media has amplified. Women's access to validation, likes, comments, DMs, so men often assume they have no chance and stay silent. Others fear being labeled creepy or too forward. And so men withdraw, but biology doesn't stop working. Desire still needs an outlet, and when men won't move, women adapt. Psychologists call this role reversal in mating strategy. When one gender fails to fulfill its traditional role, the other compensates. Women still crave connection, intimacy, and romance. They still want the thrill of pursuit. But when men won't provide it, they begin initiating, though often in subtle, indirect ways. Here's the paradox. Even as women take on this hunter role, they still don't want to be seen as chasing. They want plausible deniability. They want you to notice, to connect the dots, to take the bait. That's why they don't march up to you and say, "I want you." Instead, they engineer scenarios where you feel like it was your idea to approach. So if you've ever wondered why women are suddenly friendlier, more present, or mysteriously showing up in your orbit, it's not coincidence, it's compensation. They're hunting because men have stopped. But here's the kicker. Women don't respect men who never approach. They'll test, signal, and hint. But at some point, they want you to step in and claim. And the man who can read those signals, who sees that her pursuit is really an invitation, becomes unforgettable. 2. Women are creating situations to force the approach. If women today seem to be everywhere you are, it's not fate, it's strategy. One of the biggest shifts in female psychology is the way women engineer encounters when men won't make the first move. They create opportunities, stage moments, and design situations that practically beg you to notice them. Think about it. She sits near you in a coffee shop when there are plenty of open tables. She laughs louder than necessary in a group, but only when you're within earshot. She asks you for help with something she clearly doesn't need help with. These aren't accidents. They're tactics. Why? Because women crave connection just as much as men. But when men hesitate, women take matters into their own hands, just not directly. Instead of walking up, they orchestrate scenarios where you have to break the silence. Psychologists describe this as signal amplification. When subtle attraction cues fail, women escalate their efforts not by confessing outright, but by making their presence impossible to ignore. They create random encounters, prolong eye contact, or open with small talk that gives you a clear entry point. Most men miss it. They think it's just coincidence, or worse, they freeze because they don't want to misread it. But here's the secret. Women don't waste energy on men. They don't want. If she's creating situations where you two keep crossing paths, it's because she's giving you a chance. The danger here is misinterpretation. A weak man will still hesitate, waiting for 100% certainty before making a move. But by the time he finally acts, the opportunity is gone. Women may initiate, but they don't respect hesitation forever. The thrill of attraction requires decisiveness. The stoic man sees the setup for what it is, a deliberate opening. He doesn't overthink, doesn't drown in doubt, doesn't wait for perfect clarity. He moves with calm confidence, knowing that if she engineered the moment, she already gave him silent permission. Understand this. When women go out of their way to create situations, it's not because they love playing games. It's because men stopped stepping up, and deep down, she still wants you to lead. So the next time a woman just happens to be around, don't chalk it up to fate. Recognize it as psychology in motion. She's not only signaling interest, she's setting the stage for you to act. 3 women are using social media as the new approach. If men aren't approaching in person, women will find another way to close the gap. And in today's world, that way is social media. The likes, the comments, the DMs, the stories, they've become the new arena of silent pursuit. Think about it. She doesn't accidentally like 5 of your old posts at 2:00 a.m. She doesn't view your stories the second you post them just because she's bored. She doesn't drop playful emojis under your photos without intention. These are digital breadcrumbs, her way of inviting you closer without having to say it directly. Why? Because the online space feels safer. She can signal interest without the risk of face-to-face rejection, and, since many men are terrified of approaching in real life, women compensate by shifting the game online. They leave subtle cues hoping you'll read them for what they are. A digital version of "come talk to me." Psychologists call this indirect initiation. It's the act of creating small deniable gestures of interest, allowing her to save face if you don't respond. In her world, a like isn't just a like, it's bait. A reply isn't just casual, it's an opening. Most men ignore this. They see it as meaningless. Engagement, or worse, they drown in overthinking. But the stoic man sees through it. He understands that in a world where men won't approach, women adapt. And when she keeps leaving digital traces on your profile, she's telling you silently what she's too cautious to say aloud. She wants you to notice social media isn't just entertainment anymore. It's her replacement for the approach men stopped making. 4 women are turning to boldness they once feared. Traditionally, women preferred subtlety. A glance, a smile, a laugh at just the right time. But in today's climate, where many men freeze or avoid, some women are taking a step they used to resist. They're becoming bold. This boldness may shock you. She might flat out ask for your number. She might tell you directly, "We should hang out sometime." She might even initiate physical contact in ways that blur the lines between hint and action. And while it's not the norm for all women, it's happening more now than ever before, because waiting has stopped working. Why? Because women are biologically wired for connection. When men stall, hesitate, or ignore signals, women are left with 2 options: suppress their desire or break tradition. Increasingly, they're choosing the second option. Psychologists call this compensatory assertiveness. When the expected pursuer doesn't act, the other side steps into the void. And while many women don't like being the initiator, they'd rather risk boldness than lose their chance entirely. But here's the paradox. Even when she's bold, she doesn't want to stay in that role forever. She may approach, but deep down she still wants you to take the lead once the door is open. If you hesitate after her boldness, you lose not only the moment, but her respect. The stoic man doesn't get paralyzed by a woman's boldness. He doesn't see it as an accident or a one-off. He seizes it as an opening, calmly and confidently stepping into the role she wanted him to play all along. So when a woman does what most women won't, makes the move, don't let her carry it longer than she has to. She only did it because men stopped doing it first. 5 women are lowering their standards out of frustration. Here's the darker truth no one talks about. When men stop approaching altogether, women don't just wait forever. Many begin lowering their standards, not because they want less, but because they're tired of waiting for the right man to act. You'll see this in the way attractive, high-value women sometimes settle for men who clearly aren't on their level. Why? Because those men did the one thing others didn't. They approached. They took initiative. And in a sea of hesitation, initiative stands out like gold. The harsh reality. Women aren't always waiting. Sometimes they're lowering. And the man who hesitated will never know what could have been his. If you're ready to understand female psychology on a deeper level and finally stop missing the chances right in front of you, hit that subscribe button right now and drop the word. Approach in the comments if you've ever noticed a woman trying to get your attention in ways you didn't fully understand until now. And remember, this is Dark Facts 2.0, where we uncover truths that others won't tell you. So stay tuned for more insights on human behavior, relationships, and the hidden psychology that drives us all.